What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another predictions video. That's right, we are back with Europe for the second prediction of the second split as we lead up to the Raleigh Major, which, by the way, if I have not already said, I will be attending. Potentially another vlog. If you'd like to see another vlog, make sure to comment below, because I might do another one if you'd like to see it. But yeah, I'll be at the Raleigh Major at the end of June. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into our predictions. So starting out, we have NIP versus 100%. NIP has made no rush change, same as 100%, and they had a very good Swiss. If we actually go down here, you can see it. They took down PC in the first round, the defending major champions, and they took it down quite comfortably as they went on to beat three good teams. They swept BK, and then they also beat Gentlemates, who, have made an upgraded roster change as well. So really, good week for them as they got some really good wins. So, they're looking really hot. I think with that, they're gonna probably get a good dominant victory right out the gate. Obviously, KC, I don't think there's much to talk about them. Obviously, they did drop a series, but I'm not really that concerned. They do have the Smoky Bacon Association, great name by the way, which is Smokes, Methane, and Compact, but yeah, I don't really see them struggling much with that. Vitality plays Dopamine, who I have never heard of before. Actually, it's K-Dup, Astro, and Bryce Fox, so it's a solid team. Nonetheless, they're going to get swept. And then Forward versus Atom Unity, which I also have never heard of, as I will look over here to see if I can figure out anything about them. Yeah, and it's a bunch of players I don't really know about, so I'll give them a single game over Forward, but that's about it. We'll move on down here, and then I do think 100% after a strong first split will still continue to be a, on the outside looking in for the major, and will be just outside of that. And then we have Dopamine versus Atom, and I think Dopamine, I think they'll get a good win here, very close. And then we have the rematch, NIP versus KC. Fortunately for NIP, I think KC is going to get the win the second time around. I think it was a little bit of a fluke that they lost in qualifiers, and I really don't count it for much. I think KC, when it comes to series that actually matter, is just high octane. Continuing on, next we got Vitality versus Forward, and I think Vitality will get a pretty comfortable win over Forward to move on to the upper bracket, qualifying straight through. And we have Forward versus 100%. It's going to be an interesting match. I think we will see Forward take the win and move on to top 8. And then Niche in Pajamas versus Dopamine. I don't think this will be very close. Ninjas will get this done quite easily. And then next, moving over to the right side of the bracket, we have Big versus Tokyo Tigers, who I have no idea who this is. Okay, this is Cash, Grandma, and Uvo. I don't really rate this team much. Cash on and off. Grandma's an upcomer, and I've never heard of Uvo, but yeah, I think Big should not struggle too much. And then GK versus BSK. Who is BSK? Okay, this is the French team of Russ, Easy, Mozzarella, and Pisky. So solid French up and comers, but probably not going to be enough to take down a squad like GK. They're just really solid. And next we got Synergy versus BDS, and Synergy is, I believe, this is Dorito, AJG, and Rizex replacing Tekos Rizex, and they actually had a very good Swiss going 3-0 straight through. But they will be taking on a BDS squad, who this is the former Ascend team, but they replaced Matt with Mitzer, who I think is a slight upgrade. I like this BDS squad quite a bit, and I think they'll get a Game 5 win right out the gate. And then we have JJ Rocks versus Gentlemates, and I think Gentlemates should not struggle with this. They've replaced Radocin with Yujin, and they look much better because of it. And we got Tokyo Tigers versus BSK. I think BSK will get a close win, and then Synergy should not have much issue with JJ Rocks. And next we got Dig versus Geeke, a rematch of the round 5 match between them in Birmingham. And I think it'll go the other way this time. We'll see Dig get the win and get the upper hand as they move on to the uppers. And then we have BDS versus Mates, and I think Mates with their new player will look a lot, a lot better than BDS at least, and get through the top 6 through upwards, which is a huge upgrade after going dead last in this past regional. So good for them, and I think BDS though will and DK will have no problem taking down their lowest opponents as they move on to top 8. Let's go ahead and head over there now and fill out the bracket. Right, so the first matchup we have in the uppers is Vitality versus Gentlemates. Like I said, I really like this roster move to replace Rodosum with Yujin. Yujin looks very good, being rated very highly by the players around him, and Gentlemates looked a lot better because of it. Fortunately, I don't think it'll be enough to take down Vitality. I think Vitality at this point in time are still, really good team. They looked solid in Swiss at the major, just kind of had a rough playoffs where they were unable to take down either Furia or Ultimates. And then we have Dig versus KC. KC once again will get back to their ways of winning. It's gonna be hard to predict anything but that. Ooh, this side of the bracket is gonna be very interesting as we have NIP versus BDS. I do believe the new BDS roster is gonna look solid. It's gonna be a good up-and-comer team who probably in the future will be a dangerous team. But for now, I don't think they're going to be good enough to take down NIP. And then GK versus 100%, we've seen this a few times. I think GK, just at this point in time, are a much better team and will continue to show it. And then we have Gentlemates versus NIP, and I think this one's going to go close. Like I said, I like this new NIP roster, but I think we'll see it go, pretty close series as NIP does get the win. And then we have Dig versus GK, another rematch of the uppers. How do I think this will go? I think we will see Nitas actually get a Game 7 win. A very close series between them. It's going to be an interesting rivalry as they're going to be fighting out for probably the last spot in the major, as I think the top 3 are kind of filled out with KC, NIP, and Vitality. Obviously, NIP didn't make the last major, but I'm pretty confident, they're going to bounce back and make it this time. So I think Gentlemates, NIP, or not NIP, Gentlemates, Dig, and GK are going to be fighting out for that last spot. And next we have KC versus NIP, and KC once again showing that, the Swiss matchup was just a fluke and really nothing to worry about. Same, and then Vitality versus Dig, we've seen this a few times. It's always been fairly interesting when they do face off, but I think we'll give Vitality a close win as we see a Regional 1 rematch where Vitality will not be able to get the upset as KC continues their stretch of dominance. I know, I'm just so, exciting with my picks. Can't lie, just going out and picking up all the upsets, but the fact is I think KC is just simply too good. They've lost 2 series this season if you include the qualifiers, only 1 if you don't. It's an absolute, brute force kind of team, so really hard to pick against them, and that's where I stand right now. But as always, if you guys want to watch the event with me, I'll be streaming all 3 days, of the event if I can, of course. I will be a little bit of life update. We'll be moving back as my semester for college has ended. Well, by the time I start streaming, of course. So, streaming might be a little bit more bumpy, a little bit more, inconsistent, but we'll still try to stream all of the matches as I can. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.